The Stream King has returned. All black on. We wearing all black. Funeral Fab. Get it right. Yeah. Smash the like button. We back with another one. All black on. Oh my God. I got a feeling AJ will pull out with the fake injury. Nah, he ain't. I don't see why he would pull out. Hey. Hey. We got that all black on. Oh my gosh. Let's get it. We back. The top feels so much better than the bottom, man. It's so, hold on. Oh, you know, I'm going to play that. We going to play that. We just warming up the mic. I told you I was coming back. I said 5 minutes. It took a little longer. I had some stuff to do. The top feels so much better than the bottom. So much better. Smash the like button. We working. I told y'all. The top feels so much better than the bottom. So much better. I'm sick of these window shoppers. We about to get rich or die trying and keep riding and keep rhyming and keep doing this shit. Hey. Smash the like button. The real is back. Yeah, T.I. was spitting. Let's get it. We the gang, new media. Y'all know the name. We got to talk about Anthony Joshua, man. But in America, we call him Anthony Johnson. So much better. Let's get it. Nigga, you should win the mad as fuck. I think I know why. Windows, Shout out to Dark Truth. We about to talk some of that Dark Truth. The Black Channel. Why do the black window shop? Why do black? Oh my gosh. I'm back to back like Drake. And back to back, old media looking fake. Let's get it. He said AJ window shopping for People's Champion. Wow. Hey, you sure? So much better, man. Make sure y'all come in and smash the like button. We're going to talk about it. Something light. Real light. Real easy, like. We just going to do something like, you know what I mean? Pull up with that drip. Bang. Hold on. Hey. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Yeah. You killed my brother Chan. I've been sworn to kill you. Tiger Crane. The crab. Y'all don't know about them old school Shaolin kung fu movies. Hey, that shit used to be. They used to be doing crazy, jumping up 20 feet in the air and jumping on a tree. Like, this dude got all the styles. They had that long ass beard like mine, but longer. Tiger crane. That's how Keith Thurman do it. This how Amir Khan do it. Eesh, eesh, eesh. This how Reagan now do it. That's Keith Thurman versus the Reagan now. You gotta do the war cries. Drunken monkey. Let's get it. We feeling good. Huh? 5 Deadly Venom. You know about the classic shit. Remember Sonny Chiba, the Street Fighter? Whoa, they was like, he was ripping people's hearts out and y'all don't know about that. They used to show them on TV. They need to get back to that, where that shit was on TV. I used to just be watching TV late, couldn't sleep, and watch on it. Tiger Crane. Hey, I swear, I seen this one. Listen, I ain't lying. I seen this one. This shit was called Crippled Masters. One dude he ain't had no legs, and the other dude ain't have no arms, and they was fucking dudes up. The dude was just like, but he didn't have like hands and shit. He was, and the other dude had no legs. They was wrecking shop though. People running up with knives and shit, and then they would just throw them bows. Cadillac grill. Check out the oil my Cadillac swill. Like, throw them bows. Late Night USA. That Crippled Master shit. Listen, let's talk. We gotta talk about some AJ, man. We gotta talk about AJ as mod. The thing is, the thing is, Roy. I deal with reality. We gonna talk about some reality. Okay. We're going to talk about reality. Hold on. Smod. Anyway, AJ left people confused. We all confused. Don DeMarco, Marco, we all confused, man. Don DeMarco. Listen, we don't know what's going on right now. You know how many questions I have about AJ versus Gerald Big Baby Miller? So many questions. And I don't feel it's my fault. I just want to know. And I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand how any man could say no to 50 million, but then come to America and get significantly less, and that's all good. I don't get it. You said 50 mil is not good enough to bring you out. $50 million ain't good enough. That's mod. But it I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't get it. He said 50 mil is not enough. 50 mil plus a title. but no title and less than 50 million. You could. So I'm not selling my show for 50 million plus 50% of the back end of a bigger fight. You know, so like Miller, we all know Miller versus AJ is not going to be pay-per-view, except for in the UK. But in America, we're talking about where the money is generated. Versus if AJ were to fight in America, then they could somehow probably do it on pay-per-view. You know, Tyson Fury Wilder is going to be on pay-per-view. So it would generate a lot of money. I don't know what DAZN, their stance on it or whatever, but it would be a pay-per-view in America type fight. So you can fight Gerald Miller for less money. Look, I asked people on, and it's not just me, y'all. I asked people what you think about Gerald Miller. I just retweeted the Gerald Miller AJ fight. I said, hey, what do you guys think of this fight? You know, I didn't even say no opinions. This is what they sent me on Twitter. I said, what are your thoughts on AJ versus Miller? They gonna send me a fucking picture of Biggie, a gif of fucking Christopher Wallace sleeping. The late, great Frank White sleeping, bruh. This is what they... This is what they're sending me on Twitter. I said, what are your thoughts on Gerald Miller versus AJ? They sent me the late, great Frank White, you know, Francis MH, like Christopher. Ugh, that's real slick pussy. If I got to choose a coast, I got to choose the east. I live out there, so don't go there. See some nice breasts in the west. They sent me fucking Biggie sleeping. Here's what they think of. Hey, bro. And it was an American. This is where they're pitching this fight. And they sent me, look. This is what an American sent me. Ugh, that's real slick pussy. If Faye had twins, she probably had 2 pox. Get it? 2 pox. Time to separate the platinum from the bronze, the butter soft shit from the leather on the front. To a high class, Brooke, nah. Look, it's bad, man. Like people, I haven't seen like this crazy reception. And then somebody else sent me this on Twitter. Wait till I find it. Look, just look at all these, man. This damage control on Matchroom's behalf. Wilder bossed up and left them in the dust. No other option after Dillian confirmed the low ball offers. Glad to see Big Baby get a shot. Bro, this is bad, man. Look at what else they sent me. Y'all blowing my shit up. They sent me trash cans, all types of shit, bro. Wait till I find what someone sent me. Someone said AJ mad disappointing as a champ. Wait till I see this video that they sent me. Oh my gosh. They playing with me right now. I can't find it. It was just earlier today. Oh, here it is.
No.
Watch.
You interested in trying to conquer America? No. You interested in trying to conquer America? No. As I said, I'm holding 4.
Hey, bro.
You interested in trying to conquer America? No. As I said, I'm holding. You interested in trying to conquer America? No. As I said, I'm holding 4 of the major world title belts and Wilder holds 1. So in that sense, I feel he should come to my backyard and fight me.
A few moments later.
I just wanted to give you a quick update of what's happening in the current heavyweight division. I'm going to be traveling over to New York on June the 1st. I'm going to be defending my heavyweight championship titles at MSG, aka Madison Square Gardens, against a fighter named Jerome Miller, aka Big Baby Miller.
There's another certain heavyweight out there. Buck.
All right, what?
Chicken. Joshua, where are you, AJ? AJ!
You agree with that?
I totally 100% agree with that.
Tyson Fury, real quick.
I'm not interested in Tyson Fury, though.
You're not interested.
Tyson Fury, where you at, baby?
Shut the fuck up, you cunt! You interested in trying to...
Wow.
No.
I don't even know who made that, but that sounds like some new media shit. But it's Brad, bro. He said, "Where you at, baby? Why'd they put the sloth from the Goonies? They try to say he sound like sloth. He said, "Where you at, baby, baby, baby?" Hey, this shit out of pocket, yo. Y'all out of pocket for these edits, bruh. But oh my God, I don't even know where to begin, bro. There's really no beginning point to this. It's just so much. You could just pick and choose, you know. It's like a player with a lot of women or something. You just pick and choose. Like, yeah, I'm gonna call Nikki today. You know, you just got options. I don't even know where to begin, bro. It's just everything that Team Joshua said is looking crazy. He just said on tape, like you're seeing, bro. Listen, old media, that shit is done. You're done, son. You're done. Oh my God, new media. I told you it's coming. You're done, son. It's over, Dozer. I told you. Listen, old media cannot do what we do. And that's what I always say. The truth always comes out. What you done in the dark comes to light. They can't do it. They simply can't. There ain't no fucking video. Like they want. This is the difference between new media and old media. All these other channels be coming up, stating their opinions on camera. They might, you know, do a picture video with audio. They might show their face. But the thing is, they're not doing this stuff. They're not showing you videotapes and, you know, credible sources and, you know, highlighting on chalkboards. We showing you the shit. They just telling you what they feel. Oh, yeah, Wilder signed a contract, big boy. And they're just trying to put it all together. We are showing you. We are showing you that whoever made that is a clip of Anthony Joshua. He says the UK reporter post-fight was interviewing him. I believe that was after the Parker fight. He said, "Are you interested in conquering America?" Joshua, no. Very stern-like. You just seen it. I just let you see it, hear it, whatever. Now he's not interested in That's what I'm saying. They should have got their ducks in a row and realized like they're not on the same page. You know, Eddie Hearn, Barry Hearn, maybe they have a certain view and then Joshua has a certain view. But whatever the case is, y'all got to get together because this comes back to haunt you. You know, this looks crazy. You just said, no, I'm not interested in conquering America. But you're coming to America. And that's the whole selling point is how Joshua, he's about to, you know, I seen the dude from DAZN with the money from formerly of ESPN, John Skipper, whatever. He came out talking about AJ could be LeBron James of boxing. Come on, bro. What are you talking about? See, that's what I'm saying. Just because you have money don't make you in the know when it comes to this boxing stuff. Bro, he has a long way to go before he's celebrated because basketball, that's what I'm saying. Basketball is a completely different sport. It's a team sport. It's a sport with a governing body. Like if you on drugs and smoking weed and stuff like that, like you will get ejected out of game. You will get kicked. You know, you're not playing, stuff like that. We see boxing. Povetkin failed a drug test, and the next day they flew out an opponent and he knocked him out. He still got to fight. Boxing is lawless. It's some different shit than the NBA. And you talking about he's the next LeBron and Tiger Woods or whatever you talking about. You know, crazy. So, anyway, yeah, whatever. LeBron James is LeBron James. Anthony Joshua is Anthony Joshua. And at the end of the day, the crazy thing is, King Corleone, tell me I'm lying. Me, King Corleone, the shooters, we told AJ to come to America to fight. You get what I'm saying? So don't try to flip it now on us and make it like we are jealous because AJ is trying to make noise in America. We've been telling him to come to America and fight. We've been respect the game and said, oh, he's a good fighter. He should make some noise. He'll make great money out here. We've been telling him to come to America. So don't try to switch the narrative now when it suits your agenda. We've been telling AJ to come. We told him to come to fight Wilder last year, the year before. You know, come fight a Luis Ortiz out here in New York. We've been telling you to fight in America. They chose the absolute, listen to me, they chose the absolute worst time for Joshua's whole entire career that I've seen to come to America, because people are so over it, so almost disgruntled. You get what I'm saying? That's like, I used to work at a Lowe's store. The Lowe's store kept switching management, you know, having bad walks and stuff. So long story short, the employee morale was at an extreme low. They used to do this yearly survey called the Gallup survey. It's like, oh, that's the company that would perform it. So you anonymously, you get like a code, and you anonymously enter in that code, and you give an anonymous real a session, not a session. What am I saying? You just basically give your opinion of your store. They ask you questions. Hey, do you like your management? I agree, strongly disagree, whatever. It's one of those agree, strongly disagree type of tests, and then a couple of questions you can type and expand and expound upon your thoughts. So they did this Gallup survey. The store was broken. There's a lot of people left, and people were, you know, were quitting. It said, would you recommend Lowe's for like a friend as an employer? And then people were like, hell no, strongly disagree. So the test came back. People lost their jobs. It was just bad because the store was, you know, there's always going to be a couple disgruntled employees, but basically the sales in the store had dropped, and the Gallup survey was low, the inventory shrink was high, and all these different things. So, you know, that gives you a good pulse of what's going on in the store. Something's broken, people aren't fucking with it. So people lost their jobs and different things like that. So anyway, the reason I'm bringing up this Lowe's analogy for you is because that, amongst other metrics, is enough to indicate that there's bad morale in the store. So you can't just, if there's real deep-seated issues, like people don't feel like they're getting supported by the managers, people are going to school and, you know, their schedule is not being accommodated, or their vacation time, or people don't like the benefit, you know, just people are pissed off and don't want to come to work, in other words, right? You can't just have a fucking pizza party and think that's going to remove, you know, months of agony and months of broken morale and people leaving and people not liking their job. You get what I'm saying? So that would be like a horrible time to have like a potluck or a pizza party when the morale was like super low and nobody even wanted to be at work. You know, no one's going to really want to go above and beyond, and that's not going to fix the issues. That's similar to this Joshua situation. Joshua's American profile, I don't know about the UK. I don't know what all of the UK, because I don't readily live in the UK anymore. But in America, by and large, his profile has taken a hit for obvious reasons. Deontay Wilder being one of them, Wilder Fury and Tyson Fury being another one. You know, so these different things have come about, and now people feel a type of way, right? Now he's trying to break into the American market. You get what I'm saying? It's just, the timing seems crazy. And like I said, me, King Corleone, my shooters, Eagles Army, a lot of us have been in unison on this whole issue, and we told you, yeah, AJ, yeah, come to America. That'll be great. He said he didn't want to, and y'all ran with it. AJ said, I'm not, no. Do you want to come to America? No. He said that, and y'all ran with it, saying, yeah, he's the A side. He shouldn't have to travel. Why should he travel as the A side? This is what you guys said. Oh, yeah, he's the A side, like Zach Morris at Bayside. He should have to travel. Now it's coming back to bite y'all in the fucking ass, like we predicted, like we projected, and the world turns. Meanwhile, we are not displaced. everything keeps moving. Like, you know, the channel's doing great. Boxing's growing. I'm getting ready for Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence. I do not feel bad for anything that I've said. I am not basically sitting up here looking dumb. I don't regret anything that I've said recently, any major talking points, any live stream, because most of what I said came true regarding these major issues. So I don't even care. Like, I'm just enjoying life and boxing. I'm enjoying that super chat from my man Real Brother 32. I told you it's not a game. We out here. You know, when the super chat start looking like wild berry Skittles, you know it's a problem. Shout out to Real Brother 32. You know, we got to get some claps up for this man. This man helping hold it down in a major way. E40 album. $50 super chat. Much appreciated. Eagle Army, salute. Eagle is always dropping gems. I've been catching up with all your videos, my brother. You working like your life is on the line. Because it is, man. I got to do it, bro. I came from a hard place. I came from, you know, the mud. And I ain't going back. I ain't going back. We ain't going back. It's full steam ahead. We appreciate your hard work and dedication to the channel and the movement. Salute, my G. As always, gang, digital mob. You already know what it is. We need some more claps. Y'all not showing enough love. The man just dropped $50 of his hard-earned money. You know, he could be at a cigarette lounge, or it's not cigar lounge, excuse me. And he out here splashing. The Splash Brothers and shit. Y'all better give it up for that man. Eagles Army. Shout out to my guy, Air Show Sports, Aaron. The Black Channel. He like when I do that. But anyway, we just working. But anyway, this is the thing. Y'all not going to flip it on us. We told AJ to come to America. We were like, great idea. Yeah. Fight Luis Ortiz in America. You know, fight Wilder in America. Whatever. You know, we was with it. The money's here in America. And, you know, people ridicule Deontay Wilder. They act like, they disrespect the down south dudes. Y'all think down south dudes is ignorant and they not smart. Oh, this ain't the 1900s or whatever the fuck you think it is right now. You know, these dudes from the south, they smart too. You can learn some game from them. Wilder been told you. Wilder said from the beginning, he said, Anthony Joshua's. My belt said world champion of the world. I'm so excited. And I'm frustrated. He said, I'll come to you, but I can assure you the money's all there. The money's all in the bag. The money's in America. So you should come here. You make more money. He told you that. Wilder told you to come to America. You'll make more money here. So once again, new media, we told AJ to come in America. So that's not the issue. No, people are going to try to flip it now and act like, oh, yeah, it's just mad because AJ's getting 30 million or whatever they're saying he's getting that we never get to see the proof. You know, you're mad that he's taking over America. Cut the bullshit. We told him to come to America. We was all with it. But the only thing is he wants to come on his accord. You know, after he's taking a hit. You know, all of this stuff sounds crazy, bro. If you just listen to what they said, it sounds like, put it this way. If AJ was accused of a murder and this was like first 48, he would have an uphill battle because his story, if he was like, oh, no, I didn't do the shooting. I wasn't there. Oh, I wasn't with the shooter. You know, it would sound crazy what he's telling the cops because his story is all over the place. You get what I'm saying? So likely he would be charged with first-degree murder or an accessory to murder, you know, because his story's just not holding up. He said he did not want. We told him to come to America and fight Wilder, our best American champ, the biggest fight for you, still to this day, the biggest fight for you. We told you to come here. And you said, no, I don't want to come to America. Why should I sell my soul? Why should I deal with these rinky-dink, hanky judges and refs? Right? Wilder needs to come see me. I'm the A side. Wilder needs to, between Joshua, his team, Eddie Hearn, all that, Wilder needs to build up his UK profile. Wilder needs to fight in Great Britain so people know who he is. Wilder's never got a $4 to $9 million paycheck. Well, guess what? How come if this was, listen, if this was old media's true talking points, let's revisit them right now. Death Row East, let's revisit the same talking points. How come Gerald Miller did not have to raise his UK profile? How come Gerald Miller did not have to fight Dillian White? You told Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder he must fight Dillian White in order to get an AJ shot. Gerald Miller ain't fought Dillian White. Guess what he's getting next? An AJ shot. How come he doesn't have to raise his UK profile? How come he doesn't have to go to Great Britain so fans know who he is? How come he doesn't have to have these record-setting, venues and 90,000 stadiums, and he doesn't have to have these $5 to $8 million purses and $10 million purses in advance, and he still gets to fight? You guys know you wrong, and for that we riding. That's it. It's done for you. It's over. Finito. Everything starts from now. It makes no sense. You guys put forth all these prerequisites, all of these, things. It's like they try to stump Deontay Wilder on the test. So you had all these loaded, like, trick questions and hard questions. And then you said this is the standard test everyone has to take to graduate, right? You want to graduate to a Joshua fight, you got to take this test. And then guess what? Wilder took his test, got a good grade, got an A- or whatever. And then we come to find out you don't have a consistent test because the test that you gave Gerald Miller had easier questions. So you passed him with a passing grade and the test wasn't even the same. So you gave Wilder this hard test full of these tough ass questions and detailed questions, no multiple choice, hoping he would fail. He still passed. And he passed because he came up with his own, road and his own journey with Tyson Fury. He got his own big paychecks. He say he's gonna make 20, 25, 30 million, whatever the fuck it is, right? All these prerequisites, and now we see those prerequisites were for Wilder only, which means AKA that was some bullshit. It was some pure RD bullshit. Because if you really live and die by what you're saying, then you wouldn't be giving this shit a pass. But this is what they're doing. This is why I call them shapeshifters. Because as soon as they're found out, as soon as they're exposed, they disappear. You see them stop making videos. You'll see them switch their narrative. You'll see them, instead of those talking points that they were using daily, now all of a sudden they don't want to use those talking points, so they'll just switch. Oh yeah, but Wilder versus Fury 2 is not going to sell more than Mayweather McGregor. That's not what you were saying before. We're not talking about these new talking points you're now trying to switch to, or they just disintegrate and just disappear into vapors. But whatever happens, we on you. New media. You said Wilder needed to raise his UK profile. He needed to fight in Great Britain. He had never sold out a stadium, right? You said that Wilder had never received purses, anything close to this, so he should just be happy, and he's never received $10-15 million, right? You said Wilder's resume was full of bums and all this stuff. How come none of these prerequisites apply to Wilder? Or excuse me, Gerald Miller. So here's an example. Outside of just the mere fact that Wilder is a fucking WBC champion, who has a better resume? Wilder before the Luis Ortiz fight, or actually after, because the fight was in March. So Wilder after he fought Luis Ortiz and then he went to negotiate, and you guys were coming up with this bullshit. Wilder after the Luis Ortiz fight, or Gerald Miller right now? Who has a better resume right now? So if you look at Wilder from his pro debut to Luis Ortiz, or you look at Gerald Miller from his pro debut to Dog Dinu, Dog the Bounty Hunter, whoever he just fought right now in his last fight, who has a better resume? Aside from the fact that Wilder has a WBC belt, the most coveted belt in boxing, the green strap that everyone wants. Who has a better resume? See, their talking point was Wilder has 40 bums, 39 knockouts, 40 bums, and bum squad. This is what they are saying. So let's do a quick vote. Wilder went into negotiations off the Luis Ortiz fight. They were still saying Wilder's resume was not strong enough to get a Joshua fight, or not strong enough to be anywhere near even in the split and all that. So how did Gerald Miller get the fight? Does he have a better resume than Wilder does? So it goes to show you that these weren't real, like, this wasn't the real curriculum. You know, these are just tests that you wanted Wilder. They're basically just excuses of why you didn't want the fight, period. Because there's no way that Wilder being a champion, plus up to the point where he negotiated with Joshua and having fought Luis Ortiz, so that was even before the Tyson Fury fight, there's no way you could say he had done less or his resume was lesser than Gerald Miller at that point. But why did they say? This is what they were saying. Bum squad, and he don't deserve a fight. Who's he beat? Okay. So then what's the signature win? You know, that's what they said. Even Sky Sports was saying that. See, bro, we coming for everybody. It don't matter. We strong enough. Eagles Army is strong enough. Sky Sports had that Spencer Farron and all these people, right? Johnny Nelson. They're like, oh, yeah, Wilder doesn't have a signature win. Okay, great. So what's Gerald Miller's signature win? If you said Wilder in 40 fights and being the champion and beating Luis Ortiz and making him drool on the canvas had no signature wins, then what is Gerald Miller? And this is the funny thing. But wait, there's more. But wait. Gerald Miller is not, I repeat, is not Anthony Joshua's mandatory. That has not been called. So it don't matter how high he's ranked with anyone, he hasn't been called as a mandatory. So you can't fall back on that. You can't don't do that. You can't do that. Ain't no sanctioning body up until this point of this video being made has called Gerald Miller and said, hey, this is the absolute mandatory. You must face him in your next fight. So this is a freebie. This is a freebie for Joshua. Don't do that. So you picked him on your own free will. No mandatory, no nothing. I get it. Wilder Fury, they were probably negotiating, so they were probably booked up. But there are other guys, you know, Luis Ortiz. He's deserving. He's already fought for a title. The only person that beat him was a champion. Dillian White, you know, he had a great 2018. He's done a lot since he lost to Joshua. The only one that beat him is now a 4-belt champion. He wasn't a champion when they fought. That was Anthony Joshua, but he's a champion now. So basically, Luis Ortiz and Dillian White, they both lost, but they lost to championship caliber people. You know, Gerald Miller hasn't lost, but he has not faced anyone like a Deontay Wilder or an Anthony Joshua to this point. So, you know, you kind of have to leverage that. Savage Henry, you're not in the minority. He said, I'm in the minority on this. I think Big Baby can win. He has a very good chance. It's not, listen, I said this once again. The fight itself is not the worst thing we've ever seen. You know, I'd rather see Gerald Big Baby Miller, and I'm not just saying that kind of no Duke, but I'd rather see him get a shot any day over Carlos Takam and Kubrat Pulev. He's a better fighter, like build up. You know, the fact that he's 317 and throws a lot of punches, it's a better fight than that. You know, so I'd rather see him fight instead of Huey Fury, Kubrat Pulev, and Takam and all that. So that's not the case. Gerald Miller, he does have a shot. Anytime you outweigh people by 60, 70, 80 pounds or whatever the fuck he outweighs them, 317, you got a shot for sure. And especially when you throw the volume of punches and you're confident. Especially we haven't really seen him hurt, but again, we haven't seen him at elite. Again, this is about principles. None of that matters. It's about the principle. Nobody's mad at Gerald Miller. Gerald Miller's playing position. He from Brooklyn, Brownsville, whatever. You know, you get a bag and somebody throwing you a bag, you're supposed to look into that. No, we not mad at Gerald Miller. Gerald Miller did nothing. Gerald Miller, he didn't lie. He said, I want to fight AJ, Applejacks, Apple Juice. He was calling them names. He was, you know, pulled up on them at the DAZN. So he's not under scrutiny. Nobody's mad at Gerald Miller one bit. He's playing his position. The reason that people are giving it to AJ, pause, is because of what him and his team have done to this point. That's the only issue. If they said from jump, we're really not going to fight Wilder or Fury, we're going to build up to that, we're going to look at Gerald Miller and other guys in the division, then this would have been ended a long time ago. But see, this is the thing. In boxing, you got people who don't want to fess up to what's really going on behind the scenes, and they want to create these huge arguments by not fessing up to what's really going on the business side. And then after all these arguments have had and people went to war in the comment sections, the actions tell everything we need to know, and you see what side was speaking the truth and what side was just covering for someone. Now all of a sudden the truth is abundantly clear. Listen, I promise you, bro, Ego's army is growing. You see it. We created a system. We need support from boxing fans. When boxing fans, if boxing fans unite and support good boxing talk, the entertainment, that's how we win, and that's what we got. We got a strong following. We got a cult following. There is nothing that the only thing people do is get mad. You get what I'm saying? That like they can't stop this train. We coming, and they know that. But just what was said is a crazy look. It just looks crazy right now. Because they know. Now, I'm going to read a direct quote. I was going to make a video about this, but I want my live people. We got to get them likes up. Smash the like button if you want me to go through this. Bro, I told you, new media, we can't lose. There's an old TV show. It's called Parker Lewis Can't Lose. I feel like Parker Lewis because I can't lose right now. We on fire with it. We on fire up in here. Young Parker Lewis. I can't lose. Here's why. Talk Sport, they did an exclusive interview with Frank Warren. This man is saying near identical what I've been saying. Crazy how that works. Meanwhile, you listen to these other channels who conveniently always, if I say, hey, I don't really like what Floyd did with the Gucci, they say Floyd doing the right thing. If I say that, AJ's team, there's a lot of inconsistencies in making the Wilder fight, they'll say it's Wilder's fault and he's ducking, sign the contract, big boy. So those people, right? But guess what? They never have anybody of relevance, not other YouTubers. I'm talking about industries, Robert Garcia, famous trainers, Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence, Keith. Nobody ever co-signs what they say. Meanwhile, the shit I say it when it's not popular. I say it before interviews, and then you'll see people involved in a situation or respected people say almost the identical thing. Without further ado, let's listen to what Frank Warren says and tell me this don't sound like new media shit that we've been talking about. So basically, Eddie Hearn blamed Tyson Fury, Wilder, and Dillian White on why AJ had to fight against Gerald Miller. Frank Warren did an interview with Talk Sport. He said, obviously, they didn't want to pay Dillian White the money. That's why the fight didn't take place at Wembley. So they had no alternative than to go to the United States. They didn't have an event that would sell out Wembley. That's literally what I told you. And I said it before, Frank Warren. That's literally what I said. Why wouldn't you bring Gerald Miller to Wembley? AJ is more established as a market draw in the UK than he is in America. And he's definitely a bigger draw in the UK than Gerald Miller has been established right now in the US. Yet and still, they chose to break all of their rules of not wanting to come to America to fight, to now wanting to fight in America and break into the American market, right? Why? Why not bring the Miller fight to the UK? Because they know people would have been pissed and they know that the crowds wouldn't turn out. Now you hear Frank Warren saying the same thing. He says, they had no other alternative than to come to the States. They didn't have an event that would sell out Wembley, which is facts. So Eddie Hearns and AJ, Team AJ, had to bow down, give up that date, you know, because Wembley is a big-ass place. They know you have to be really profitable. You have to have a big event. Otherwise, you're going to spend so much money just renting the facility and, you know, lights and stuff, all for it to be gaping holes and, you know, half-empty crowd. That wouldn't even be worth it. That's why they're coming to a smaller venue like Madison Square Garden doesn't hold the capacity of Wembley. You know, and they're going to take their chances. Plus, it's a safeguard. It's a cushion because AJ's never fought in America. So this is a first time. So they're hoping people come out because this is your first time even having the opportunity, you know, and then they're pitching it. Oh, it's a New Yorker versus, even though it goes against everything AJ said, you know, but that's what they're going to pitch it as. Oh, it's a New Yorker and he's a trash talker and they're going to just keep looping. Bro, we seen the play. We called it before anything. They're going to keep looping that DAZN face-off clip, you know, from the press conference where Gerald Miller pulled up on him. That's going to be I guarantee you that's going to be a centerpiece to the building of this fight, you know, to build the drama. It's like a predictable movie. Frank Warren continues, says they put themselves in that position. They could have taken $50 million to fight Deontay Wilder last year. Keep in mind, this is Frank Warren. He's not Wilder's promoter, and he's saying this. He don't have nothing to really do with Wilder other than doing business with Wilder for his own fighter, Tyson Fury. This is Frank Warren, a UK promoter, saying this. They put themselves in that position. They could have taken $50 million to fight Deontay Wilder last year. They were offered $50 million guaranteed and $30 million for a rematch. I think Dillian White has actually seen the paperwork as well. I remember I was on a program with Tony Bellew, and he said it was a load of rubbish, but as has been proven, it was an offer that was made and has now been acknowledged. Even Barry Hearns said it was made. You can't just go on forever just putting on fights where you are putting a guy on a card and thinking it will fill up. Joshua was arguably the biggest draw in the boxing this time last year, but his star has dimmed somewhat with Wilder and Fury's thrilling December draw among the fights of the year and increasing both of their standings with the division. That's what the author of this article wrote. And this is a UK-based website. They said Joshua was arguably the biggest draw in boxing last year, but his star has somewhat dimmed. I told you, new media is coming. We're coming. Everything sounds like new media. I told you, we set the trends. That's it. We set the trends. This YouTube shit, digital mob, they gonna respect us one way or another. We set the trend. You see the writers bringing up the points we bringing up after we. It's like you have no choice but to bow down to new media. You have no choice because you can't argue and refute the point. So when you hear a person like me go over it time and time again and bring up all these new points that other people haven't even thought of or aren't bold enough to just be on their own limb and go out and say, and then you're like, oh shit, that is a good point, you know? So it starts to sway your opinion. And we're not swaying people with brainwashing bullshit. We telling you and showing you facts. Death Row East. Believe in that. Wilder and Ortiz are more popular than Big Baby here in the U.S., so their whole quote-unquote exposure plan may not even go according to plan. Shout out to Icy the One, $5 super chat. Facts. Gerald Miller, Eddie Hearn ain't even been putting them on. Louis, here, swear to God, man, listen. Eddie Hearn ain't even put Gerald Miller on any recent cards that are bigger than the cards that Luis Ortiz is on. Who wanna rumble? Who wanna debate this with me? I was at Luis Ortiz's last two fights. He fought on the Tyson Fury Wilder 2 undercard, a lot of exposure, Staples Center, Los Angeles, California. And he fought before that at the Staples Center on the Mikey Garcia versus Robert Easter unification. He was on the undercard of that in Los Angeles, LA. I love LA, at the Staples Center. And before that, he fought and lost to Deontay Wilder at the Barclays as the main event. So Gerald Miller, if you look at his last 3 fights, the cards he's fought on have not been bigger than those. So my dude, Icy the One, brought up a great point. Luis Ortiz has been given way more exposure and been on bigger high-profile cards as of recently, and he wasn't even considered. Joshua said his name, but we didn't see no follow-through. Okay, fine. Dillian White, let's say he's pricing himself out, and he's unreasonable. Fine. You can't fight Wilder. Fine. You can't fight Deontay Wilder. You can't fight Fury. Cool. What about Luis Ortiz? He's been on bigger cards. You know, he's already fought for a title. He's not undefeated, but his one loss is damn sure a respectable one. He can box. He was formerly Joshua's mandatory, like official mandatory, you know, before the Klitschko fight. Why didn't he get a call? He told you, I'll come to you. I don't care, USA, Cuba, UK, wherever you're trying to do this. Let's go. I'm ready. He didn't even get no offer for June. He said, I'll fight for whatever you're trying to fight for, wherever you're trying to fight for. And he been like, people keep talking about Gerald Miller because he talks trash, but he talks in English. Luis Ortiz has been talking greasy, it's just not in English. He called Joshua a chicken. He said, come out of hiding. This motherfucker will never fight me. He's a chicken. He said he ducked Wilder. He's talking all the trash too. The only thing is, if you don't speak Spanish, you know, you're going to have to hear it through a translator or subtitles or something. But so what's the real difference? He's trash talking, you know. He's just doing it in Spanish. So he fought for a title, once beaten, and a respectable loss. Just like Sean Porter. Sean Porter ain't never lost to no rookie or something. He lost respectable fight. Kell Brook and Thurman and shit. You know, there's a difference between taking the L, just getting mollywopped and getting your ass beat, and losing respectably. And you see, because they don't want Luis Ortiz. He's not part of the equation. He's not the Barry Hearns, Eddie Hearn, Joshua plan. That's why. Dillian White, now the WBC ordered Dominic Brazil fight. So who knows? Don't listen. Don't tell me shit. I don't care who Luis Ortiz ever fights for the rest of his career. Straight up. Because this is the same shit they did to Rigondeaux. Listen. You heard it here first. Luis Ortiz, he could fight R. Kelly. Trapped in the closet. They could be trapped in the closet. He could fight him. He could fight, you know, I don't care, bro. Butterbean. Pee Wee Herman. No, Dottie, they have my bike. Like, I don't care. He can fight anybody he wants because you see what they're doing to this man. Nobody's trying to fight him other than Wilder. And Wilder shouldn't have to just keep rematching him. He was in a tough fight, got through it. Let one of these other dudes fight him. So I don't care. Luis Ortiz has a get out of jail free pass with me because you see that people don't want smoke with him. Everyone keeps calling him he's old and shit, but they're not trying to fight this old dude. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Oh, he's so old, we don't want to fight him. Oh, he's so weak, but we're not going to fight him and show you how weak he is. That's just, you know, anyone could do that. Anyone could do that. So he's fighting on the Edeslandi Lara card against Brian, or Luis Ortiz is fighting on that card against Christian Hammer, and then Lara is fighting against Brian Castaneda or whatever. I'm happy that he's fighting Christian Hammer. Great fight. I'm gonna support. I don't care who he's fighting. He could fight Scrooge McDuck. I'm not tripping because you know why he's fighting these people. He has to, so he's supposed to just stay on the sidelines, not, you know, his daughter's sick and shit, not get a paycheck and not be able to fight nobody and take care of his family and support himself and let his skills get rusty on the sidelines, waiting for somebody of merit to want to fight him. They're going to try to wait and age him out and wait till he looks vulnerable against someone else, not them, like people do in boxing. And then if he shows signs of vulnerability, then a bigger name might step up finally. Like Keith Thurman, people didn't want smoke when Keith Thurman was on top. Now that he looked vulnerable versus Luis Collazo and Jose Cito Lopez, now people probably fight him. But when he was looking mad dangerous, you didn't see as many people chomping at the bit to get in there with him. That's how boxing goes. So Luis Ortiz can fight whoever the fuck he want. Straight up. Whatever fight he fights is a great fight to me. You know, it don't matter who he fighting. He can fight Chris Cross for all I care. Cause I'm the Mickey Mac. The Mickey. Jump. It's cool. You know, I don't care. I'm like, oh shit, Ortiz fighting Chris Cross. That's what's up. That's a good fight. Cause I'm the Mickey Mac daddy. Tonight's the night I call up all the girls I used to go to school with, fool with, and all the niggas that I'm cool with. Let them all know that my mom's is gone and it'll be tomorrow before she come back. Ding dong. Nigga, say no more. I don't care who he fights because you know why he's fighting. This is what they always do to all the, you know, this is what they always do to dangerous fighters, skilled fighters that don't carry the great big paycheck or name or whatever people want, clout or whatever, right? They always, no one top level wants to fight them, and then they try to roast them because the guys have to stay busy level guys. Oh, why is Luis Ortiz fighting Travis Kaufman? Why is he fighting Christian Hammer? Oh, you know why he's fighting these guys. Because the top guys that he's calling out, they're not concluding fights with him. That's why. So, you know, if Luis Ortiz fights Boxingego and Ronald Finkley next, then y'all better just support it, because you know why he's fighting me and Ronald Finkley. Me and Ronald Finkley about to have a tag team match with Luis Ortiz. Probably both get knocked out, but you know, we do it for y'all. I don't care who Luis Ortiz fight, because you know why he's fighting the level of competition he's fighting. He's asking for the smoke. He's pleading for the smoke. He's begging for the smoke. Only thing I'm hearing is he's old, but nobody wants to show me how old he is by whooping him. Yeah, King Corleone, you gonna jump in too. It's gonna be me, Ronald Finkley, and King Corleone against Luis Ortiz. Man, let's jump him. Man, sit your ass down. Me and King Corleone gonna try to jump Luis Ortiz. They don't want that Cuban smoke with that man. So, you know, it is what it is. This is Joshua's pick. He's doing a press conference next week. You know, we'll see what that's looking like. Daryl Zepeda said check PayPal. Oh, shit. Wow, the man Daryl. Look. See what happens? Shout out to Daryl Zepeda. Everybody give some claps. He just dropped a dub on it. Hey, King Corleone, you out of pocket. Listen, we need some clap emojis. Daryl Zepeda, he just dropped $20 via PayPal. So we got the PayPal super chat. Look, we got all different ways. That's what I'm saying. We just going to keep growing and keep doing it. I got some new equipment coming tomorrow. I told you, I'm a problem all year. 2019, Boxingego, we a problem. We a problem. We coming. We working. There ain't nothing light about it. We working our asses off this year. Wow, I said that, and look what my man Daryl, who just dropped, he dropped 20. Look at what he said. He just said we working. See, y'all know. We working. That's all that needs to be said. Like Wilder said, what's understood don't have to be explained. I'm so frustrated right now. This is the baptism. I'm so frustrated right now. I told you we coming. So anyway, Eddie Hearns and AJ, they did this too. And see, you know what's sad? You know what's sad, y'all? The worst thing in this world is to become what you detest. Like, if you speak out against drug abusers and then you become a drug addict, you speak out against people who beat their wives and then you become somebody who catches a domestic violence case. That's the worst thing, when you become the enemy, you know, when you become something that you say you detest. And I feel like Anthony Joshua, some of the things that he spoke out against, his promoter became like, you know, they became victim of that. Look, Joshua accused Wilder and Tyson Fury when he was on top of the world, you know, king of the heart and king of the hill, and he didn't have to share the hill with nobody. He accused everyone of clout chasing and just like, you know, being on his dick or whatever, and being like, oh, they just want a piece of the action. They just want money from me. I'm the money man. I'm money. I'm mad, you know. And now with the shift, they've lost something. You seen in this article, they've lost like portions of the prime real estate that they had as A side with this whole Wilder Fury fight happening and things like that. So now it's like they've become clout chasers. Eddie Hearns and Joshua keep mentioning Fury and Wilder, and Wilder hasn't even, bro. Wilder said, "I'm gonna smoke him out." He's almost more calculated than we expect, or than I expected, maybe, or whatever, because Wilder he did a lot of stuff up front and called out Joshua, and then he really stayed true to, I'm not really worried about Joshua. I got Tyson Fury, that's my focus. He stayed true to that. I thought he was gonna still be. He barely even talking about Joshua right now. He really is. Shout out to Real Brother 32, another one. $50 super chat. You know, shout out to you and Daryl Zapata. Salute Eagle Army and Daryl Zapata. Thanks for accepting the challenge, channel members and shooter challenge. It's a blessing in order to continually bless. This channel helps us all in so many ways, so I'm grateful for Eagle and Eagle Army that we always being here. Family is family. You dig, you know, and it's still fuck Gucci. They gotta, you know, they gotta get back to the hood, get back to the communities. Appreciate you guys. But anyway, to me, the thing is crazy is they're almost becoming what they spoke out against. You said Wilder and Fury, they just want a paycheck, and all these guys. That's why I don't mention them. I don't mention Luis Ortiz. Everyone's now you clout chasing because we need some more claps for my man, Real Brother. This man dropping dough. He dropping dough. We need some claps. Get that shit up. Stop hating. This man is out here. We need more clap emojis. Listen, we have 20 seconds. If I don't see a bunch of claps, I'm hitting the stop button on this. This will end. The moment I'm all about unity and community. The moment we don't have that, I have no purpose of even being here. So when people are supporting and helping the channel in this significant way that allows me to do more and facilitate more and get to the next level, when you guys don't show appreciation to the people who are doing this just with a simple click of the hands, then that means you don't want to support the movement. You're not supporting us because these people are making it possible. I'm not asking, I'm not begging. They say I'm a panhandler, whatever. I'm not begging for anything. You know, these are people who are doing this out of goodness of their heart to help the channel and, you know, help me stay motivated and help us do more, get more gadgets and travel more places to bring content to you. I know not everyone has it like that. You know, people that got their own stuff. Some people owe taxes and different stuff like that. So we got to give it up to the people who are able, in a position to do it and are doing it, you know, like Daryl Zapata, Real Brother 32, frequently collaborating not only just with the super chats, but in the comment section. So the moment we don't have unity, we have no community, and that's a problem. Anyway, Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearns, they are becoming what they spoke out against, you know, saying people, oh, we got to overpay this guy. And, you know, these guys just keep mentioning my name. Now you're mentioning it. Eddie Hearns, said the short list. It's like I said, like a predictable movie. Eddie Hearn's a couple weeks ago, you know when you're closing in on a deal. DAZN literally asked him at his show. They said, so, okay, rumor has it that Gerald Miller might be next for AJ. So would you say he's the front runner? Eddie Hearn literally didn't want to answer the question. Said, no, I would not necessarily. He said, I wouldn't necessarily say that. You knew Gerald Miller was the front runner. We all did. Mike Coppinger, me, the world knew he was the front runner. Dillian White knew he was the front runner. And Eddie Hearn's still trying to play it off like he don't know. Still doing interviews talking about, oh yeah, Tyson Fury's on the short list. He's not on no short list. He's not. Top Rank used to try this shit with Pacquiao. They have a list of all these people that Pacquiao was allegedly going to fight. And then you knew he wasn't going to fight the guy. It was, oh yeah, he's going to either fight Danny Garcia while he was undefeated. He's going to fight Mayweather, or he's going to fight Timothy Bradley 3. You're like, all right, it's going to be Tim Bradley 3. Boom, it's Tim Bradley 3. He's going to fight Broner. He's going to fight, Canelo, or he's going to fight Chris Algieri. That's the short list. Oh, wow, Broner, Canelo, and then he ends up fighting, oh, he's going to fight Chris Algieri. He didn't fight Chris Algieri. Come on, man. We know the game. We knew Tyson Fury wasn't fighting AJ next. And this is the thing. Talk Sport, listen to the interview. I didn't read the rest. Sounds like exactly what I was saying. Frank Warren says, it is not down to finance. It is down to the fact that they want everything off the table and give crumbs to people. That is why Dillian White is not fighting him. That is the reason he is saying he is finding it difficult to make matches. They don't want to pay anyone. That is the bottom line of it. Once again, common denominator, Team Joshua. They have to be the culprits at this point. There's no way Wilder's, okay, you blame Wilder and Shelley Finkel and Shirley Winkle Dinkle, blah, 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 right? You said he has to be reasonable. He's unreasonable. He won't answer his emails. He doesn't want to have a meeting with me. Okay, fine. That's him and Shirley Winkle, Finkel, Dinkle, Twinkle, and all this extra shit, right? But what about Tyson Fury and Frank Warren? They're refusing meetings. They're not answering their emails. They're being unrealistic with their demands. Okay, fine. Wilder, Tyson Fury, Al Heyman, Shirley Finkel, Winkle, Dinkle, Frank Warren, they're all unrealistic. Okay, what about Dillian White? He's a rematch room fighter. Certainly you've worked on his last few fights. He's already fought Joshua. He's had a good 2018. Oh, Dillian White, he's being unrealistic. Bro, how is everyone just being unrealistic? Stop it. Every single person is being unrealistic. Maybe it's like a girl who gets in the same type of relationship. Some girls just like thug ass dudes, and when they go to jail and then they get locked up and they act all surprised. Or they like deadbeats dudes that don't have no job, sit around, play Red Dead Redemption 2, and they got no car and borrow your whip and take you to work, and they fuck around and cheat on your dumb ass. And, they had character flaws or red flags that this is who they are, and then the girl, oh, he keeps cheating on me. That's who you're attracting at that point. If you had 18 boyfriends and it's the same story with all of them, maybe it's your dumbass. Maybe it's your selection process. Maybe it's your standards. Maybe it's what you accept. That's the reality of it. You got to start. My mom always said, you got to consider the source. It's like, ain't nobody got that bad of luck where this shit just always happens to them and only them. Like, I have friends like that. And every single time they go out, they nearly get in a fight, get arrested, just all types of shit. This is you at that point. Because I've been out many a times and that shit didn't happen to me. I'm not saying it never happened to me, but it doesn't happen with the same frequency that is happening to you. Like if you being about yourself, minding your own business, and you just keep getting guns pulled out on you by gang members and shit, maybe it's how you live. It's something you doing probably at that point. You know, I'm not saying anyone can't get got or somebody won't pull up or slide up on you, but if you just constantly keep getting involved in the same, the universe will give you all you can handle, you know, what you put out there. So I refuse at this point, and I've been like this, but I refuse to believe that 4 or 5 different camps, they're all the problem and they're all unrealistic, and AJ's this angel, you know. I know he's a devil on my shoulder, angel, I know all that, but it's almost impossible that people that don't even have nothing to do with each other are all complaining about the same things with you. That's like, hypothetically, that's like me having 7 different exes and they all say I beat them. What's the likelihood of that? You get what I'm saying? So all 7 girls are just lying. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I didn't do nothing. I'm just making up a fictitious story or whatever. But if, you know, every single ex is just saying, oh, Ego did this to me, or Ego stole out of my purse. Come on, bro. Ego just, he used me and took my money. They just all saying that? Like, what's the likelihood of that? Like, okay, you get it. Some people are crazy. Some girls are petty, or, you know, feel scorned because you break up, so they might do something stupid. But come on. Everybody? So, to me, this is what it is. And Gerald Miller, in my opinion, he had the least bargaining chips to put on the table based on, I'm not saying he's a bad fighter, but based on where he's at in his career. So of course he's going to accept the least amount of money, or he's going to accept something sooner than somebody who feels they have a better resume, more momentum, and they feel they're a good fighter. They're going to know their worth, like, totally. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, money is relative. Money is relative. If you broke and you lose $100, you might be pissed for the rest of the day. If Warren Buffett loses $100, I'm not going to say he's happy, but it's not going to ruin his week type shit, you know? Or if you go to the casino and lose $800 and Floyd goes to the casino, Floyd Mayweather goes to the casino, loses $800, he's not probably going to be happy that he lost, but it's not going to make or break him like that. You get what I'm saying? So all this stuff is relative. Gerald Miller, in my opinion, he's not in a position where he can demand what Wilder is demanding. And I think he probably knows that. So he's just grateful for the opportunity and what he feels is a reasonable paycheck for him, for his life, but that doesn't mean it's going to transition. Like, you know, Wilder's like, I'm the only other guy in the division with a belt. And I fought Luis Ortiz, the boogeyman, you know, and now I fought Tyson Fury. You got to give me something proper. That's where he's at in his career. So not everyone's going to be in that same position. That's like Pacquiao and Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is going to want certain things and certain proper etiquette as a champion. But if we're talking, if Pacquiao was talking about fighting, let's say, Jamal James, you know, Diego Chavez, they're probably going to take considerably less because of where they're at in their career. They can't demand what the same person is, you know. That's just how it goes. Like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he can demand a certain amount for a role because he's in all these blockbuster movies and stuff. But another actor would just be happy to get cast and a decent amount of money. That's how it works. It's all relative. But you know, these Dillian White, his team has nothing to do with Deontay Wilder's team. Wilder's team has nothing to do with Frank Warren's team, right? And they're all complaining about one entity, one group of people, and they're all complaining about being lowballed. And you mean to tell me that Eddie Hearns and Barry Hearns are just perfect angels, and Anthony Joshua, they're just being perfect angels, and everyone else is just so incredibly hard and unreasonable to work with? Come on, man. And notice the fights that the fans don't really care about, and the fans that we're not, the fights that the fans aren't really dying to see, that are seemingly easier for Joshua get made pretty flawlessly. And then the fights that are the best of the best, or the fights that where Joshua has a chance of like losing in the people's mind, those fights are all super hard to make. And everyone's just, you know, being unreasonable. I want to say, you know what I think it is? I think that Klitschko fight, even though Joshua won it, that puts shit in perspective. When you had, like, he was hurt and all that in that fight, so I think that kind of made them slow their roll. Like, okay, let's just take our time a little bit. Come on. Because that, you know, Klitschko came close. In my opinion, he hurt Klitschko first, knocked him down. Klitschko got up and started almost winning that round, but, you know, not enough to win. It was still a 10-8 round. But Klitschko won the next round and knocked Joshua down. It took Joshua several rounds to recover, right? And Klitschko, to me, was kind of winning that fight up until the point of the stoppage. And then he got caught. And ever since that, it's like that left a disdain on the membrane of Team Joshua. So they're trying to tread cautiously after that Klitschko shit, because they seen how close it nearly came to not going their way. And now all of the guys that are the major threats, they're approaching these fights with more caution. You know, it's like if you're a little kid and you don't look both ways and you almost get hit by a car, you narrowly escape, right? Your dumb ass is gonna look again, you know, before you cross the road next time, because that's fresh on your mind that you almost got clipped by a big ass van. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it is, because that Klitschko fight, you know, they're like, oh shit, that was close. You know, we're not ready for this to end, because it's all the people who in the fans' mind. I'm not saying Gerald Miller can't do good. I don't know. It's a shot in the dark. Maybe he does great. Maybe he does. I don't know. But the guys who were proven against the elite level, or proven because they fought Joshua, like Dillian White, it's like almost undoubtedly that they'll give Joshua a tough fight, win, lose, or draw. Dillian White has already proven to give Joshua tough fights based on the amateur fight and his fight as a pro. And he looks like he's getting better. And he's gained more experience. Luis Ortiz gives everyone a tough fight. There's no one that had an easy night with Luis Ortiz and just bulldogged him. No one. Wilder has knocked out everyone except for Fury and Stavern, who he later came back and knocked out. So technically, in my mind, until we see the Wilder Fury 2, I look at it as Wilder knocked out everyone he's ever faced, you know, except for Tyson Fury to this point. And then he might knock him out in the rematch. Tyson Fury is just awkward and big and confident and crazy. So he's a dangerous fight for anyone. No one's had an easy night with him. Wilder, Derek Chisora, Klitschko, this dude made everyone's night a hell, a living hell. So once again, conveniently, all of the guys that would proven, like historically, based on, you know, the eye test and what's readily available and visible, would all give Joshua problems from the public perception. Those are the fights that are all super hard to make and aren't getting made. All of them. But then a guy we don't know as much about, like Gerald Miller, because he hasn't fought anyone like a Joshua. If you name one person Gerald Miller has fought, it's not a knock. This is just based on what I've seen. Who has he fought like Joshua? Exactly. And that's the fight that gets made. Povetkin already lost to Klitschko, and he wild small compared to Joshua. And he was on a long hiatus. He was more dangerous when he was on that Meldonian shit. He looked like, man, look at, don't take my word for it. Do your homework. Go look at when the Povetkin was supposed to fight Deontay Wilder. Listen, you know I'm telling the truth. Povetkin was supposed to fight Deontay Wilder. The fight nearly happened, and then he failed the drug test closer to the fight actually happening, so it got canceled. Wilder was actually in the UK or in Russia, one of the two. He was close to, because the fight was going to take place in Russia. So Povetkin had almost a full camp before it was found out that he had the meldonium, and the fight got canceled. Go look at Povetkin in those pictures that he took in that training camp for Wilder, he was looking brocky. He was looking wild brolic. He was looking diesel. And then go look at him when he fought Joshua. He looked super small. And he still gave Joshua some problems. But I'm talking about the physique. Look at Povetkin when he was about to fight Wilder. I seen the pictures. I seen it. He was looking brocky out there. He was looking brolic. He looked considerably smaller by the time he fought Joshua. And like I said, he still gave Joshua some issue early. But he definitely didn't look like as big. I seen him in the sparring pictures with Daniel Dubois. He looked a lot more manageable. He was looking hub out there when he was about to fight Wilder. Go look at the pictures. Joshua soft like Errol. That's stupid. That's a stupid comment. Errol Dane did nothing like Joshua. So I don't know what you talking about. Y'all just be putting that dumb shit. The fuck is Errol Spence got to do with this anyway? Hey, one more comment, you probably gonna get blocked. Say something. I dare you say something. My shooters, Guillermo Tovar. Watch his comments. If he leaves anything stupid, that's just hating. See, divide and conquer type shit. Nobody was talking about Errol Spence. Errol Spence ain't done nothing like Joshua, and you randomly said some bullshit. So shooters, Guillermo Tovar, watch his comment. If you don't like what comes out of his mouth or whatever, his next comment, clap him. Next. Yeah, so anyway, it's just a crazy look for Joshua. The shooters is on you, Guillermo. So watch, tread lightly. RTD, AJ stock going down real quick. Man, real talk, people are more excited for Chris Eubank and James DeGale than AJ. That's just gonna be a fun fight. I'm not even fucking around. The UK is probably feeling that fight more, bro. Listen to Anthony Joshua's Instagram message. It's like a sad puppy, him announcing the fight. Hey guys, Anthony Joshua. I will be fighting at Madison Square Gardens. Like, there's no S. We can tell you're not from America because there's no S at the end of garden. It's not gardens. It's MSG. It's not MSGS. You making it sound like it's a gang. Yeah, man, MSGS, bruh. He's like, oh, I'll be fighting at Madison Square Gardens. It's not gardens. It's garden. You don't say like, oh, yeah, I'm in kindergartens. But anyway, and he said, I'll just fight against a fighter named Gerald Miller. You got to explain to your fans who you're fighting. See, this wouldn't happen if you were fighting Luis Ortiz, if you were fighting Dillian White, if you were fighting Tyson Fury, if you were fighting Deontay Wilder. You wouldn't have to explain to your fans in an announcement who he, like, I wouldn't, like if I was about to do a song and I wouldn't have to be like, hey, I'm doing a track with this guy named J. Cole. The only time you have to do that is if you're doing like, if the person hasn't blue already and they're not really relevant. So you proving Wilder's point when Wilder says, Gerald Miller's not as known like that. You get what I'm saying? He talking about just listen to the channel now. It's on his Instagram. He was like, yeah, I'll be fighting in Madison Square Gardens against a fighter named, like, damn, you said a fighter name. Like, you make it sound like you have to introduce the world to Gerald Miller. You wouldn't have to say that. Like, Canelo didn't do that. Canelo didn't say like, oh, I'm fighting against a guy. Some of you may know him named Daniel Jacobs because he knows people know Daniel Jacobs. He knows people know Golovkin. So he didn't have to do that. But AJ did. And this is the point at which they want to come up to America and, make their presence felt. And it's sad too that Eddie Hearns and them, I don't think plan for new media. But besides that, once again, just like the DAZN press conference, the whole buildup. I don't know about the UK because the UK sometimes they just try to side with the home team. But just so you know, any press related stuff you do in America, the sad thing is, it's going to be outshadowed. Like, what's it? overshadowed. What is it? Outshadowed? What am I talking about? Overshadowed. Damn, tripping. Gonna be overshadowed by Wilder, Tyson Fury talk. Maybe even Luis Ortiz and Dillian White talk. So let me get this straight. Like, this is how you know what the fight is and what it ain't. For example, people can, let's say they do a press conference for Canelo, I was born ready, versus Daniel Jacobs. The conversation I'm not saying they're not going to ask anything outside of Canelo Jacobs, but people are content with that fight. They are happy with that fight. So the conversations can really revolve around, or heavily revolve around, Canelo and Jacobs, because it's a great fight. You know what I'm saying? People don't have to be like, oh, Canelo, what about Caleb Smith? What about Charlo? I mean, some people might ask certain things here and there, but I think people overall are content with Canelo Jacobs. So the questions, the bulk of them at least, can still, the foundation of questions can still revolve around this. Like, what do you see in Jacobs that do you have to worry about? Jacobs, what do you think of Canelo? You know, they don't have to be like, oh, Jacobs, what about Charlo? Jacobs, what about Andre? You know, because people are happy with this fight. So you could keep the conversation primarily to the fight that's happening. Anthony Joshua and Gerald Miller, I promise you, if I don't know about the UK, like I said, but if you come to America, I promise you, unless they start denying, like, certain people in media and not letting them come, you know, and then try to have like some, you know, bought people, like people that they only fuck with that are gonna ask them softball questions, then I promise you, the conversation is going to be more about Wilder than it is Gerald Miller, more about Tyson Fury, more about Wilder versus Fury, and like I said, maybe even Dillian White and Luis Ortiz, than it is about the actual fight. That's how you know what you have. Because if let's say it's like I consider myself a food connoisseur. I like fine dining. I like some good, like, you know, just to discover a nice place to eat. I'm not talking about the appetizers if I'm content with the meal. The appetizer could have been great, but if I'm talking more about the appetizer than I am talking about the actual meal, then that's a problem. That means my actual meal was just light. It was all right, you know, because more often than not, you would be more impressed by the actual main course. So when people are more considered or more concerned with other things than the main course, then that tells you something about the main course. If I had a main course and it's like steak and loaded mashed potatoes with asparagus, and then I'm still telling you about how the clam chowder was so delicious, then the clam chowder kind of outshined and outperformed the meal, because I'm not saying this about the steak, you know, and that's the thing. If you have a great fight, you have a great fight, and people bow down. You know, Mayweather, McGregor, people always, oh, this is a circus and stuff. People were asking they weren't asking Mayweather about fighting Keith Thurman. They were asking, oh, what do you think about when Conor said this? And Conor, what about this? They were asking relevant questions to that fight primarily. Again, I'm not saying no single solitary questions were asked about anything else, but you could focus on the fight because the world knows the fight's good. But when you get to, let's say they do the press conference in New York, I think next week, and you get to New York and everyone's asking you about Wilder. Oh yeah, what about Wilder? Oh, why didn't Tyson Fury do that? What do you think of Wilder Fury 2? Are you worried about the date, you know, being so close to yours? Then you tell me. Like I said, you shouldn't be bragging more about the appetizer than the main course. He said ego analogies be on point. I do what I could do when I can do it. And my dude, Real Brother 32 and Daryl Zapata, they dropped some bombs in the super chat, so they motivated me. I gotta be sharp for y'all. And on that note, I'm out. Thank you guys for tuning in. Listen, it is what it is. Joshua fighting who he's fighting. We'll see. You know, I'm not saying Gerald Miller don't have a chance, because he does. You know, anybody that type of weight, and he seems pretty confident, but he's still a shot in the dark because we haven't seen him at that level with anybody. Like even the Luis Ortiz, Dillian White. Name someone that Gerald Miller fought that you think beats Luis Ortiz. That's a real question. If anyone wants to answer it, name someone that Gerald Miller fought and beat because he's undefeated that would beat Luis Ortiz. Someone said no one. Yeah, I'm glad. I knew Guillermo was getting clapped. See, that's how it should be done, shooters. They're gonna say something dumb and just let it transpire. They can't help themselves. I couldn't name one. All right, name someone that you feel Gerald Miller beat that would beat Dillian White. These aren't even Tyson Fury or Wilder, like, you know, champions. So, what opponent that you think if Dillian White fought them at that same point in their career, he would have lost to them? Look, can't think of one. Can't. So, clearly it's a step up. If you can't tell me somebody on the list that would arguably beat this other person and they're all in the same division, then that tells you what you need to know. You know? And I'm not, you know, Miller fought who he had to fight, who was put in front of him, and he steamrolled him and beat him and all that. That's cool. But I'm just saying, that's why it would have been nice to see a Dillian White, Luis Ortiz versus Miller pre-Joshua versus Miller. Because then we would at least have a gauge like, oh, okay, Miller was able to get past this guy, so maybe he's ready for Joshua. Now we don't know that. Barry Hearns even co-signed what I'm saying. Barry Hearns says we don't know very much about Miller. He said something like that to Talk Sport on the podcast. And that's true. We don't know enough because we haven't seen anyone remotely in the realm of a Joshua in terms of momentum, size. And you look at Joshua's strengths, we haven't seen Miller versus Fred Cassie and, you know, Gerald Washington coming off a Deontay Wilder knockout loss. These guys, they don't bring the momentum that Joshua has or the size and power, you know, gold medal, stuff like that. So it's definitely a step up in class and caliber. I'm out. Holla at the boy. Appreciate you. Thank you guys for the massive super chat. Massive. You know, it is what it is. AJ's fighting who he's fighting. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We working, and I'm out.